A great protagonist is crucial in making a successful anime, and the majority of the time, the best heroes are younger characters learning how to become adults. That's why we think children make for the best anime protagonists. Don't believe us? Well, today we're talking about the greatest anime with child protagonists, and it's a safe bet that some of your favorite anime of all time are on here. So, let's get into it. The best protagonists not only grow and change as the series progresses, but also inspire those around them to become the best people they can be. Sure, Deku, the lead character in My Hero Academia, tends to cry buckets when emotional and took an alarming amount of time to remember that his legs can be used for kicks, but he's also a great main protagonist for the heroic high school anime. In a world full of superpowered individuals, Deku's a rare person without a quirk. It's only when the number one hero, All Might, shares some of his power with Deku that he begins his quest to become the greatest hero in the world, all while encouraging those around him to become better people. Besides the awesome animation and thrilling action scenes, My Hero Academia boasts an incredibly likable cast of young students with a wide variety of different quirks. With Deku's help, most of those students undergo major character developments as they come to terms with their awesome abilities and figure out exactly what type of hero they want to be when they grow up. It's this mixture of amazing storytelling and genuine character development that makes My Hero Academia one of the best anime out there right now. Come on, of course Pokemon made the cut. How could it not? Pokemon is one of the most popular children's shows ever made. The story of a 10-year-old boy traveling across the country with his electric rodent without adult supervision has wormed its way into the hearts and minds of anime and cartoon fans everywhere. It's cemented itself as one of the major pillars of pop culture, as we've watched Ash try his hardest to truly catch 'em all. It's got everything you need in an anime, with a lovable cast, marketable creatures, relatable themes, and great action. Most importantly, it has staying power. There's something rooted in its premise that's allowed it to go on for over 1,000 episodes. And it shows no sign of slowing down. Older fans love the nostalgia element of it, while the anime still connects with new, younger viewers today. It was one of the first Japanese shows to successfully cross over to the West, and we're very thankful for that. Watching the opening of Magica, you'd be forgiven if you thought the show was just your typical magical girl anime with young, bubbly girls suddenly being granted extraordinary powers to go on amazing fun adventures. Well, joke's on you because things get dark real fast. The major head-chomping death of Madoka's mentor Mami in the show's third episode sends our main characters reeling, and proved this anime wasn't going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Things only get worse as the characters soon realize that, becoming a magical girl, they've basically sealed their own grim fate with the promise that, eventually, their emotions will get the better of them, and they'll turn into witches, the very thing magical girls fight. What started off as a seemingly fun adventure quickly turns into a cautionary tale about the dangers of childish idealism, and we're forced to watch these young girls fight against impossible odds to save themselves and the entire world. Who would have thought that an anime about two kids descending into a giant hole in the ground would turn out to be one of the most heartfelt and beautiful anime of the last few years? Made in Abyss follows Riko, a young girl on a quest to find her missing brother, a famous adventurer who never returned after a quest down the Abyss, a massive crater with an unknown depth and countless unsolved mysteries. Riko is joined on her adventure by a robot named Reg, who Riko found in the Abyss and has no memory of who he is or where he came from. He also comes with some nifty gadgets like his grappling hook arm and powerful laser cannon, which is good against all the crazy monsters roaming around everywhere. Although the Abyss is a scary place with danger lurking around every corner, the show makes every new level that this dynamic duo descends down into absolutely breathtaking, and the relationship that blossoms between Riko and Rick is sweet and genuine, with both of them showing an insane amount of determination and perseverance to uncover the mysteries behind the Abyss and find Riko's mother. If you haven't done it, watch this anime. If IQ doesn't make you want to jump off your couch and start playing high school volleyball, then you're obviously watching the show wrong. Haikyuu tells the story of two very different high school students, the vertically challenged, passionate human kangaroo Shoyo, and the explosive, obsessive king of the court Kageyama. Together, these two are forced to find a way to work together as they join their high school's volleyball team and work to become champions. Watching these two try to get past their differences is the backbone of the show, and seeing their different personalities come together to utilize the best of each other's strengths is a strong message for any anime. But the rest of the team gets plenty of moments in the spotlight as well, and as the show progresses, it becomes more of an ensemble-driven program. When talking about anime with great child protagonists, it's almost impossible not to include the landmark anime Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. To many, it's one of the greatest anime of all time, and for good reason. The story of the Elric brothers is a tragic one. As young boys, Edward and Alphonse lose their mother and broke a cardinal rule by trying to bring her back to life. It cost them almost everything, as Ed was left dismembered while Al lost his entire body. Fortunately, Ed was able to fuse Al's soul into a huge suit of armor and was able to replace his own limbs with cool robot arms, but the experience left them scarred. The whole show is about their quest to get Al's body back, but anyone who's seen it will tell you there is so much more to it. The impressive thing about this anime is that no matter how large and grandiose this story gets, it never loses focus on Ed and Al's journey to recover what they lost. And their bond is truly something special. The Dragon Ball franchise is another one of the reasons anime is so popular in Western culture, and when it arrived on the scene, it was truly unlike anything a majority of Western audiences had ever seen before. For many, it was their first exposure to anime. It's hard to say the word Dragon Ball without adding Z to it. But before Dragon Ball Z, there were 153 episodes of Dragon Ball, which follows young Goku and his friends as they try to, you guessed it, collect those legendary Dragon Balls. Dragon Ball Z is probably more popular, but this original anime is essential to the story of how Goku got his start and became the godlike superhuman or Saiyan we all know and love. The original Dragon Ball has got everything you'd want from a fighting anime, with incredible martial arts fights, a ton of over-the-top humor, and one awesome energy explosion after another. Like most Dragon Ball series, there's plenty of filler episodes, but even those can often be fun and exciting because the characters are just so dang likable. Let's face it, we'll probably continue getting new Dragon Ball series until the end of time, but the very first anime still stands as one of its best. One of the biggest breakouts of the winter 2019 season, The Promised Neverland, has given us an exciting new anime with excellent child protagonists. Watching the three 11-year-olds, the spunky Emma, the cunning Norman, and the wise Ray navigate their orphanage would have been interesting enough, given how well these three characters play off of one another. But when you drop the bombshell that this orphanage is more like a cattle farm and their loving mother is actually just raising them so evil demon overlords can feast on their brains, you got yourself a major dilemma. The show follows these three as they plot a breakout while attempting to stay one step ahead of Mother, who seems to predict their every move. It's an intense psychological battle of wits in the same vein as the classic Death Note, and every episode has seemed to raise the stakes to extraordinary new heights. It's just thrilling to watch these children thrust into life-threatening circumstances and then work together to find a solution. There is no other show airing right now that'll make you as hungry as Shokugeki no Soma, otherwise known as Food Wars, a cooking anime that you should never, ever watch on an empty stomach. In the anime, we watch 15-year-old Soma Yukihira as he's forced to leave his family's diner to attend the elite Totsuki Culinary Academy, a cutthroat school where only 10% of students graduate and can battle one another in one-on-one cooking showdowns they call Shokugeki. Soma's down-to-earth and common cooking style clashes with the uppity nature of the academy, but no matter what obstacle is thrown at him, time and time again, Soma proves why his cooking will always come out on top. The show has a gigantic cast, with everyone having their own unique cooking style or specialty, so every episode is an opportunity to learn a new mouth-watering method of preparing food. Although it's a cooking anime, it's shot and animated more like a battle show where two people use food as their weapons to beat one another into submission. Sure, the reactions to eating the food are a little over the top sometimes. Okay, maybe that's an understatement, but that just adds humor and heart to an already amazing show. The gruesome horror anime Another answers the question of what Final Destination would look like in anime form. It follows young student Koichi as he transfers into Class 3-3 of Yomiyama North, where he finds the students afraid of something that they won't talk about. Koichi starts getting close to another classmate, the eye patch-wearing Mei, but soon discovers the other students won't acknowledge her presence and act like she doesn't exist at all. Is she a ghost? Are they ignoring her on purpose? Koichi isn't sure, but determined to find out what's going on, he doesn't let the issue go. and unwittingly activates a curse that's been plaguing Class 3-3 for almost 30 years. It isn't long before, one by one, the students start dying in spectacularly bloody ways. Now, Koichi and Mei must find a way to break the curse before death comes for them all. Romance is hard at any age, especially for high schoolers. Just ask the main characters of the romantic comedy anime Toradora, a show about students navigating that pesky thing we call love. A standout for its genre, Toradora is a funny and heartfelt show that proves a person's image doesn't always match their personality. In the show, Ryuji is a gentle soul who loves housework, but has a scary face that makes the whole school afraid of him. On the other side of things, Taiga is a small munchkin-like student with a fearsome, tough personality that screams, "Don't mess with me!" Through a wacky series of events, Ryuji and Taiga meet and eventually confess that they're in love with each other's best friend. Seeing how they can both help one another, they hatch a plan to be each other's wingman in order to get what they want. It's charming, hilarious, and surprisingly mature for a show with such a silly premise. Created by the same writer as the mega-hit One Punch Man, the slice-of-life comedy anime Mob Psycho 100 is quickly cementing itself as one of the best anime comedies in recent memory. Similar to One Punch Man, Mob Psycho is about an insanely strong protagonist wondering what to do with his powers. It follows a psychic schoolboy named Mob, who isn't fully able to use his amazing abilities without something terrible and cataclysmic happening. He tries his hardest to suppress his powers with the help of his mentor Arataka, a con man pretending to be another psychic who just wants to exploit Mob's powers for his own personal gain. The problem is that the only way to suppress his powers is by cutting off all emotions, which has caused him to distance himself from other people. The show is about Mob's attempts to connect with others while still keeping his emotions and powers in check, only to be constantly challenged by other psychics and evil spirits that force him to do battle. Ping Pong the Animation is a soccer anime about... just kidding. Obviously, it's about ping pong, and it's one that might be a little hard to watch. The animation style is abnormal, with harsh designs at angles that take some getting used to, but the end result is well worth it. The story revolves around 4 high school students, each dealing with their own personal issues. The one thing they all have in common is that they're insanely good at ping pong, and we watch these 4 students as they compete to win the big inter-high tournament. Ping Pong the Animation is a tightly paced 11-episode series with no time for filler or fluff. Every episode is important as these characters weave in and out of each other's lives, all leading to a truly moving finale. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll wonder why there's an elite school of bald students focusing on nothing but ping pong, and you won't regret watching this anime. Erased definitely has one of the strangest premises on this list. Satoru is just your normal everyday 29-year-old manga artist who has the mysterious ability to go back in time a few minutes every time disaster is about to strike. He has no idea how or why he has this extraordinary ability, but when he's wrongfully accused of murder, he suddenly jumps back in time 18 years to when he was a child and must figure out what the heck is going on. Most people in that situation would probably just worry about going through puberty a second time, but Satoru has bigger issues to worry about. He realizes that the murder in the present day he's falsely accused of committing has to do with the mysterious disappearance of a classmate when he was younger, and now attempts to solve both crimes, all while confined to his teeny tiny little body. It's like the movie Big, but with an opposite premise. And more murder. It's one of the better time-traveling shows out there today, mainly because it doesn't focus too much on explaining the actual nitty-gritty of the time travel elements, but rather highlights the emotional journey Satoru takes as he goes from detached loner to invested hero. Be sure to check this one out. Much like Made in Abyss, the anime A Place Further Than the Universe is centered around one girl's quest to find out what happened to her missing mother. But this feel-good emotional gut punch of an anime is a little more grounded than what the title implies. Unfortunately, there's no space or galactic travel, but that doesn't make it any less compelling. The anime follows Mari, a young high schooler who wants to go on extraordinary adventures, but is too afraid to break the rules. She soon meets Shirase, a fellow student who's been saving up for a trip to Antarctica where her mother disappeared years earlier. Most other students laugh at Shirase, because why would she go to Antarctica of all places? But an inspired Mari vows to help her, and after getting 2 other girls to join them, the newly formed group embarks on an expedition to the frozen continent. It's a powerful story of friendship and perseverance, and it's overflowing with humor, heart, and a whole lot of penguins. The show isn't afraid to paint the characters as inexperienced and in need of guidance, but A Place Further Than the Universe's true strength is highlighting that by helping one another, these girls can do anything they set their minds to. And that's our list of some of the best anime with child protagonists. Are there any we may have missed? Did we talk about your favorite anime of all time? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more anime videos. Thanks for watching.